It's Tuesday, 1st of June 2021, and you're welcome to this podcast from Blacknight, the Irish company that does domains, hosting, websites, e-commerce, and now broadband as well. You can find out more at blacknight.com/broadband. My name's Conor Moynihan, and today we're talking about space, and specifically about CASSINI, which is the European Commission's new programme to support space-based entrepreneurs. And in Ireland, the National Space Centre is hosting the Irish portion of the very first CASSINI Hackathon, which takes place later this month. The theme is Digitising Green Spaces. It's focused on helping teams develop new applications using satellite data and signals. It's a competition involving 9 other countries across Europe, which takes place from the 18th to the 20th of June. Here in Ireland, the CASSINI Hackathon is sponsored by us here at Blacknight. The top 3 Irish teams will take home €2,500 in first place, second place €1,500, and there's a third place prize of €500, and they'll each get a .earth domain and hosting to go with that as well. To tell me more about CASSINI and the CASSINI Hackathon, I'm joined on Zoom by Rory Fitzpatrick, who is CEO of the National Space Centre. Welcome to the show, Rory.
Good morning, Con. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on the show, Rory. And my first question to you is, what is the National Space Centre? I've just been chatting to you, and you guys are very busy indeed, but I'm sure that a lot of people would like to find out more.
We're a private company set up just 10 years ago now. We took over the old Elfordstown Earthstation in Middleton that was built originally to take telephone traffic to Europe to America. And we've been developing and building a little space hub down here in Cork to run teleport activities. So we beam stuff up and down to satellites. That's our core business. We also have a space campus on site where we've other small startup companies, both brass plate and in site with hot desks. And that's really what dragged us in and got us involved in the hackathon. Obviously, the more startups and the more people involved in the space sector here, the more they cross-fertilize and help promote, push and sell each other globally. And that's where we're at, and that's why CASSINI is such an exciting thing to try and get young people that could do it $2,500. Have I mentioned this $2,500?
You have indeed.
my son was asking. He was saying, "Dad, can I put something in?" I said, "No, you can't." He said, "But I want $2,500," and I said, "I'll go and work for it." But everybody else can put in a submission with ideas for the $2,500. So, yeah.
And we're talking about private enterprise here, Rory. We're talking about business. We're talking about, and there's so much obviously about it at the moment with companies like SpaceX and the opportunities for space entrepreneurship. Can you tell me a bit about those opportunities? And specifically, I guess you're talking about environmental and green entrepreneurship, but using space data. What can you do with space data, Rory?
Oh my God, where do you start? Like the thing that's so phenomenal about this is that how ingrained it is in our lives already. Everything we're doing right now has space data embedded in, feeding, backing, supporting. It's everywhere. Even small stuff. I windsurf and I sail, and every day I'm looking at the weather, Wind Guru, Windy, all these apps that are taking data from satellite. It's such a habit now to have this information all around us. Our GPS, like, geez, everything we're looking at. My wife has a cooker that has a GPS module in it. It's in everything you look at these days. So when we look at the uses, that's why we're flushing out, and this competition is all about getting young people to come up with new ideas. We in the pre-discussion we had before this, we were just talking about some of the opportunities, and one of the glaring examples of this type of thing in action is Treemetrics. Treemetrics are a local Cork-based company that have taken all this new technology, the satellite and the GPS and everything else, and they've turned it into a new platform that tracks and monitors trees and forestry, and it is a huge success story. They've won loads of ESA projects and competitions and everything else, and they've quite a few customers globally that are using their forestry software. So they're a prime example of what you can achieve in this field. But anything that helps the environment, that helps develop green space using any type of data from satellite or space is the kind of thing we're looking for here.
And what kind of people are you looking for then to get involved with this? Do they have to be space scientists? Do they have to be astronauts?
They need to be 5'7", ideally blonde. No, I'm only joking. It could be anything at all. It doesn't matter. It's all down to the idea.
Yes, you're looking for entrepreneurship, I guess. You're looking for people with ideas and a way of actually putting them to good use.
And you know what? One of the really key things is people don't be afraid to put in ideas that might be wacky or way out there. There's no wrong idea here. And the reason why is because some people are afraid, that it's not thought through properly. It's not fully, what if? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And even to flush out guys with the first, it might take 12 ideas for them to get a successful idea, but that's fine. Richard Branson didn't start with a record label. He started with a magazine.
That's right.
So when you look at all these entrepreneurs and you look at what they started with, often it's a million miles away from where they end up.
And in terms of the technical knowledge, then, I mean, will you provide some of that for participants?
There will be quite a few hosts and experts brought in to help them and work through with their ideas. So they can be really, back of an envelope broad ideas, or they can be quite detailed ideas. It doesn't matter. It's down to the strength of the idea and the opportunity. And we'll have experts. Like, what we're trying to do here is help people obviously win the $2,500. But the key thing here is to try and find people who are interested in starting up their own business. If they have a good idea as well, that's a bonus. If they don't have a good idea, but they want to do it and they throw something in and we get to talk to them and we say, well, this idea isn't great, but there's a couple of other ideas, or we can match them together with other people. There's so many opportunities come out of this. It's all about really creating a community of people who are interested in space and want to get involved in business in space.
So we're talking about things like hackathons, startup weekends. A lot of our listeners will be familiar with these, Rory. The only difference, I suppose, this time is that we can't all put everyone together in a big room or get together. This is going to be virtual and online over the course of a weekend.
It's a challenge. It's the first time we've done something virtual. We've no idea how it's going to work, whether it's going to be a huge success or whether it's not going to work at all. But we are going to try. Certainly, I'm surprised. I didn't expect Zoom and all the other platforms that you can video conference. I didn't expect them to work as well as they do. They like, I'm involved in the Stephen's Green Club in Dublin, where the average age is probably above 70. And we had a large meeting with about 50 members, and they were all able to get on and Zoom and do I was impressed at how many of the older generation were able to get on and do it. The younger people would just, they can do it in their sleep.
Yeah.
So for them, this is easy. Again, it's something that we want to create a community. And, you asked about where the opportunities are. Well, with Earth observation, everything, flood, fire, any emergency related stuff, any skill, any hobby, anything that people are doing, there is usually applications that the satellite data can fit in with somehow. And everyone has a very unique path through life and a set of experiences. And because of that, other people will see things that we'll never see. Because something, maybe they were walking down a path when they were younger, they were bitten by a dog. So for them, that becomes an issue. So they find something that helps people on rural paths. These are the kind of things that come out of our own personal experience. And that's what we're trying to flush out here, is that where people can take their own view of the world and they look at the satellite data that's saying, they think, well, actually, this is something I can contribute or that I can develop.
There's more information for people to take part. You're inviting people to enter. Your website is nationalspacecentre.eu, and they can find all the information about what kinds of data are available and how the weekend itself will be run. And as you say, you'll be giving people an opportunity to come in teams or to come on their own. And if they have ideas and skills and initiative, you guys will put them working with people of a similar intention and similar abilities in that as well. And it sounds
as you said,
exciting.
if they go onto the website, it's this is a European program. It's focused on Copernicus, Galileo, and EGNOS data. So that's the data. But we've links on the site that will take them to that data and show them what they can. So what I would suggest to anybody interested, and they can be 70 or they can be the teenagers. I think 18 is the cutoff point. Is it 18 years of age? There is an age group in there somewhere. They can check on the website. I'm not sure on that, but if they check on that, what they can then go through onto our website, check on the data, and that will show them the data sets that they can work with. So they can take that, and if they have ideas off that, then put together an idea and submit it on the site.
Where can people find out more? Remind us again of your website.
www.nationalspacecentre.centre.e. And if they go onto that, there's on the bottom of the site there's a CASSINI button for the hackathon. They click on that and become part of the community, get involved. Doesn't matter how good or bad the idea, get in there, get a submission in. And one of the big things here as we go forward with the campus on site and with our tie-in with MTU and everything else, we're going to be doing events on site. We're going to be getting people down. Once we can open up and we can have people down to the site, we're going to do an open day and a barbecue and all that kind of stuff on site so people can come down and kick tires and have a look.
Fantastic.
So that stuff, so get involved, send us their email, get onto the mailing list, become part of the community.
I want to give a shout out to a member of the community who is related to one of our staff members here in Blacknight. And when she heard we were doing something about space, she said, "You've got to say hi to Oisín because Oisín loves space." So this is a shout out to Oisín Burnett. He's 7 years old. He lives in Perth, Australia, and he absolutely loves everything to do with space. He might be a little...
Does Oisín get to Ireland?
Pardon?
Does Oisín get to Ireland?
I'd say he may do when things open up again. Who knows?
Well, if he comes over, he can come down to National Space Centre and I shall give him a space coin. There we go. Fantastic. Which will be held here at National Space Centre for Oisín. So there you go, Oisín. There's your coin. Come and collect it.
Fantastic. That's something to look forward to. Rory, it's a pleasure talking to you and the very best of luck with the hackathon. That's Rory Fitzpatrick, CEO of the National Space Centre in Cork, Ireland. And you can find out more about it at that site, nationalspacecentre.eu. Just to reiterate, the Ireland version of the CASSINI European Hackathon is sponsored by Blacknight. The prizes are $2,500 for the first winning team. The second team gets €1,500 and the third gets €500. And each of the winning teams will get a .earth domain name and a hosting package for a year as well. You can find out all about that at nationalspacecentre.eu. And that's it for the Blacknight podcast for this week. And indeed, I have to announce it's it for the Blacknight podcast for a while. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the longer term, but sadly, I have to announce that this is, in fact, my last podcast for Blacknight after more than 10 years of working with Michaela Nealon and the people at Blacknight. Even before I joined the team as a full-time employee, I was working with them on an ad hoc and contract basis as well. So things change, people move on, and I'm having my career take me in a different direction, at least in the medium term. So I want to just express my gratitude and thanks, and just to say what a pleasure it's been to work at Blacknight and to work with Blacknight, and also to work with the larger Blacknight community, by which I mean the customers, the friends, the partners, the suppliers, and the various people in Ireland especially and around the world as well. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege. Sinna bhfuil wimsa don trosa, beidir go mé de cainte ríist in áit éigeile agus tá fáilte roimh má hastín roimh tagháil anamh liom go pásanta ach wimse go fóil agus ó fad creile Blacknight. That's it for now. Slán go fóil.